What's going on, everybody? We're back at Lorch, here to play the second course, Coyote. This course is more scoreable. The pros are probably going to be shooting anywhere from 8 to 10 down, possibly even a little bit better. Obviously, this course is going to be a little bit tighter line. It's going to be back in the trees, but the holes are going to be a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit shorter. If you don't have big power distance, this course is probably more of the course for you. Pretty tight, so it is going to challenge your ability to throw the disc straight, hit those tougher lines. So I'm certainly excited to play. My aim is just to show you guys around the course and show you the different shots that Coyote requires the player to make. We'll see what I score today, but overall the goal here is just to shed some light on this beautiful course and just give you guys some good feedback about where it's at. So excited to play. Let me know what courses you want me to cover and any ways to make these videos more available for you guys to learn more about the course. So any feedback is certainly welcome, and yeah, just let me know. Hole 1 here is the only par 4. If you were to run across this on UDisc, it's going to be the only par 4 here on the course. It's going to be super long. We're looking at about 530 feet past the trees and out to the left. So ideal spot is just to kind of get to the mouth of these trees and have, you know, a mid-range to a fairway driver up to the basket. The one thing about this hole is if you can get to this tree stump, you're in a great position. Miss right. If you miss right, you're going to have a free shot up to the basket. Only mistake you can make is missing left and getting into these trees. So anytime you get a 500-foot hole that's a par 4, I think it's a must get on any disc golf course. So anytime you approach that hole 1, know that you don't have to bite off a ton of distance on your first shot. You could take 2 fairways, potentially 2 mid-ranges, and get right up to the first basket with ease. So don't think about getting too much off the box. Look to set up that second shot right into the basket. So 2 is probably one of the tougher holes in this course. So I'm going to play as a par 3 on UDisc. In tournament play, I know with the Cedar Hill chill, they're probably going to make it a par 4, but today we're just going to play it as a par 3. It's going to require a low ceiling, long tunnel shot. So keep it low, keep it straight, and you should find yourself in a good spot. Found myself in some of the crap on the right side of the fairway, so I just had to take a pitch up. Hole 3, it's going to challenge the forehand a little bit here. Pretty standard forehand, but it's going to be a tight tunnel. Hole 4, this is one of those really short holes, but there's 2 lines. You can take a straight putter and go on the inside line, or you can take something overstable here like a Firebird and you can go on the outside. I found more success going on the outside, but you're throwing up a prayer. If it does get knocked down though, you will have a putt from, you know, circle's edge, maybe just outside. Hole 5 is tricky. It's going to be a flex forehand when it's in the long. It's going to go all the way around, so it is kind of a tricky shot. That was actually an incredible shot shape, but these trees are just kind of so invasive that any good shot still has the chance and the ability to hit a tree. Thankfully, I knocked right down, but I think that's what makes the course so fun. Good amount of luck played here on Coyote course. Either way, I still got it kicked right in the middle, so I'll have a good upshot. Taking a par on 5 is never upsetting. On some of these tougher holes, I think you end up scoring well by only shooting for par. So let that be a good reminder as you just continue to play disc golf and continue to play these tough courses, is don't necessarily be upset with a par. I think as you start to par more holes and you start if you shoot 18 pars, you shoot even, and that's a pretty good score on any course. Let that be a good reminder as you play Coyote. Take your pars, and as you take your pars, your birdies are going to come shortly after. So, hole 6, not a super far hole, good enough for a mid-range. Getting the height right is really the only thing. The goal here is just to keep the Mako 3 right in the fairway, and hopefully we get some good ground play up to the basket. Hole 7, this one's short no matter the pin location, so it should be a birdie pretty much 10 times out of 10. And the location that it's in right now, I'm actually just going to take a forehand and just pitch it up. It's just about 185, so it's a really short shot, but it can be difficult with some trees here and there, but you should take your birdie. Hole 8. This one is, if it's in the short, it's a pretty standard, easy hole, and that's what it's in today. We're just going to go with something that stays pretty straight and fades to the end at the left. Hole 9, this one's not super far in distance, but it is kind of a really tough shot shape to get down there for a birdie. Most people are going to take their par. If you want the birdie, you've got to hug the inside with the forehand. I'm going to play it pretty much down the middle and just kind of hope for a good roll. Through the front 9, we are 2 under, which is fine. I think my goal is usually to get to about 3, potentially 4 under on the front 9, even though that usually never happens. But moving into the back 9, there's still a lot of birdies, but there's still some really tough technical shots. So both 9-hole sections play about the same, but there's still a lot of birdies to pick up. Hole 10, this is a tough birdie, but certainly not ungettable. You want to take something that's pretty straight. I think the tricky part here is the height. You want to get the height right. If you keep it low and keep it pretty firm and straight, you're going to get a good skip up and have a chance at the birdie. That's a good example of what can happen on this hole. Got the height right, but just pulled it a little bit to the right and then got a tough kick into the woods. So at this point now I'm scrambling, trying to save par, but bogey does come into play and I could be looking at one right now. It's a good par save. Hole 11, pretty simple hyzer shot with a fairway driver or a mid-range. So just keep it simple and just kind of hit the line. Hole 12 is probably the most elusive birdie. If you were wanting to play it for birdie, you're going to take a super long flex forehand, and I usually elect to go to the short pin with a putter and then just take my pitch up and hopefully take par, because it can turn into a big number really quick. As you can see, this is kind of the first initial gap that you have to hit. So you certainly, if you play with the putter, you can end up hitting something early and having a super long forehand to get to the pin. So I cannot stress this enough. That first shot is so important if you're playing for a good score. Just to be able to get out here in the open. You can even get over here in this creek on the left and have an upshot, but get past those initial trees and give yourself a chance to get up next to the basket for your par. As you can see, I'm just kind of here in the creek bed area, which is not a bad spot to be at all. I've got a pretty simple hyzer putter shot again just to get to the basket, so don't be afraid to miss left if you're throwing a backhand. Just get it down there past those trees and give yourself a chance. Hole 13, it's just a standard hyzer skip shot. If you miss the big tree in the middle, you're going to be in a good spot to at least take par and have a chance for birdie. Hole 14, pretty long distance. It's a good bomber hole. If only miss you can make if it's over here on the right side is to push it too far right and get into the thick stuff. This is looking back up to the tee box. This is all the stuff you want to avoid. Here's the basket right in there, and so you have all of this ground to work with if you miss left, and then you can just pitch up under. The only mistake, as I've said, is just missing in here, and then you're looking at a bogey at least. So don't be afraid to use all this grass right in here and take your par. Coming into hole 15 at 4 under, I think. Right now it's up and a little bit to the right. You just want to throw something that you know is going to go pretty straight. I'm just wanting to push something straight. The only miss that you can make here is missing too far right and trying to pull the disc. So keep it straight, let the disc do the work. Hole 16 is pretty much a wide open shot. I think the only thing that's tough about this is just the basket placement. Once you get past those trees, it's still a long way up there. Primary focus should be not to chew off too much a distance. Get past those trees, get into the open grass, and you'll be able to pitch up for par. You see that you've got all this open field to play with. I made the mistake and ended up pinching off that tree a little bit too much. So it's going to be a kind of a tough shot. I could throw a forehand, but it'll still be a tough shot into that pin. Hole 17, this is just a great disc golf shot. Similar to a lot of the other shots that we've been seeing here, it's pretty much just a standard straight to kind of hyzer finish. Just miss those 2 trees right in the middle of the fairway and you should be putting yourself in a good position. Last hole here on Coyote, hole 18, pretty much just a standard straight putter. Should be a birdie, I want to say 8 times out of 10. The only thing that makes this shot difficult is obviously the tight line of trees. Play catch with the grass out there, get through the trees, and most likely you're going to end up taking a birdie or at least having a putt for the look at birdie. So ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we have for Coyote today. 6 under, I believe. That's a good score. That is just, I think the beauty of Coyote is you play for par, you play the fairways, you're going to run into a lot of birdies. We shot 6 under and took 2 bogeys. I think that it just goes for disc golf as a whole. Is if you want to get better, if you want to improve your scores, literally go out and just try to play for par at a course, and then you're going to see your scores really improve. So get out there and take your pars, and you may end up, shooting 5, 6, 7 under at a course kind of like Coyote. Hope you guys enjoyed Coyote today. Truly one of the better courses, I believe, in the Metroplex. Truly a beautiful, beautiful reserve. The park is fantastic. People here are fantastic. So really enjoy you guys tuning in. You guys stay tuned for more. Again, if you have any recommendations on courses to play that you want to see covered here in DFW, please let me know, and I'd love to get out and film it. So appreciate you guys checking in. You guys stay tuned for more.